It's important to remember that before writing, before civilization, all humans had was nature in order to discover themselves spiritually and to uncover their own consciousness. Spirituality mimicked nature. It was a reflection of nature. That is why the original religions and belief systems were called animist, so that all gods represented different aspects of nature, that somebody could call a specific deity's name and connect to some being in the astral realms that reflected the wisdom and the elements of that natural process. Very similar to, there were gods of storms, gods of rain, gods of plants, gods of all sorts of different types of animals. These gods and goddesses were able to be given offerings, sung to, creating altars in their name. And that is why the original religions and the original belief systems were nature-based. Now, as humanity gathered together into city-state systems, we began to become isolated from nature. And so our gods began to reflect our ancestors. And eventually, the gods began to reflect the aspects of human technology. Thor and his hammer, Odin and his spear. There are different ways in which we connect, but the thing is, the original spiritual path was based upon nature. And if you look at the aspects of looking at nature and the way you interface with natural forces, is that the seeker, the acolyte, the initiate, looks towards some aspect of nature. They stare at a tree, they stare at a river, at a sunset, and they close their eyes, go within, and they see how that aspect in nature relates to them. This is where we've kind of gone off track with religion and with spiritual systems and magical systems. Unfortunately, because of the rampant need for control and monoculture kind of existence in the city-state system, a lot of governmental authorities utilize spirituality to gain spiritual control over the people. And because of this, they create rule books. And these rule books are like, do this, don't do that, do this, don't do that. It's always a set of some kind of control mechanism over the mind. The problem is, the human mind was built upon spiritual growth and evolution. Without that, the human mind actually begins to decay. And I think that's why we're seeing a lot of people having arrested development with regards to their emotional and mental knowledge in this world, because they were raised in this rule book of do this, don't do that, don't question authority, just simply obey. And then as people are walking away from those religious systems or cultural systems that are telling them what to do, they're going into nature, they're going within, they're listening to ancient stories, and they're taking the story and they're going within and they're reflecting on their own internal meaning. That is a growth-based spiritual system. It's based upon nature. You look at the stories, you go within, and you make your internal meaning. You don't make the internal meaning of your pastor. You don't make the internal meaning of your guru. Nobody gets to give you meaning but your own self. This is sovereign spirituality at its best, and it comes originally from nature. So if you find that you are beginning to not want to take other people's opinions or not want to take other people's meanings on experience in your life, it means that you're actually beginning to grow up as a spiritual being. All great spiritual leaders, they broke away from the pack, they broke away from society, and they created their own meanings for spiritual phenomena. Now, it doesn't mean that your own meanings are correct. They may actually evolve and grow, but you need to decide what is your meaning right now, and then tomorrow you reflect and decide what is your meaning tomorrow. This is one of the ways in which I was able to learn planetary magic. I look at the stars, I meditate on their stories, and I see where I am at right now with the star positions. As I follow the stars across the sky, I begin to understand they create meaning within my life. And that is how all lore and all spiritual systems and magical systems are created. We have this within us to simply create magical systems based upon the natural world. So if you find that you are feeling stagnant in your spiritual practice, go find natural systems, whether you're following the planetary transits of the stars and the planets across the sky, or whether you're following the seasons of the nature and its environment. You're following the path of the sun, the moon. You're even following the rhythms of your own body. The key is you observe, you go within, you make meaning. And then you observe again, you go within, and you make deeper meanings. That is the spiritual process. It's very, very simple. And there is nothing that anyone can package or sell to you in this. There is no money to be made in this process. You simply observe, go within, and make meaning. 3 steps, 3 simple, vital steps to growing your spiritual growth. And that's it. So know that within you, you have the keys to your own liberation.